This month is Crime Prevention Month, and I was just wondering if you could share some tips on how to protect your home and how to protect yourself.
Well, there are several ways that a person can go about protecting themselves, and that's in regards to them out traveling or walking or being in their own home at their residence. Some of those things overlap, and it would be things just simply being alert to your surroundings, using common sense, and we'll just start with a residential area with the person's home. They need to make sure, of course, that they have working locks on all their entry doors. Deadbolts are preferred because they just provide more security. Certainly home alarm systems are a good idea, and they're an effective means to deter burglars. But there again, not everyone can afford a home system or they don't have a system for whatever reason. But when you start talking about the exterior of the home, you want to make sure you have bushes cleared away from the home so it's visible from the road to some extent. You want exterior lighting for nighttime, so there is some illumination outside your home, because the primary thing a burglar or a person committing a crime is concerned with is they don't want to be detected, they don't want to be heard, they don't want to be seen. So if you can provide some openness around your home, it helps deter someone who may be going to commit a theft or burglary. Here again, we go to a daytime versus nighttime situation. During the daytime, you want your neighbors to be able to see the front of your house, your entry doors and things of that nature. So, you know, having things secured with good locks on the doors and windows, having things open somewhat around the home, and having the proper lighting at night are good ways to prevent theft or burglary. Inside the home, you want to have some type of telephone access. And everybody nowadays has a cell phone, but not everyone carries a landline phone. But have some way to communicate. So if you are home and encounter a problem, you can notify the 911 dispatch and have help sent your way. And here again, inside the home, you've got property that's valuable. You need to have an inventory of your property in the event that you are a victim of a burglary. Maintaining serial numbers, and it's also a good idea just to photograph or video your items that are either unusual or valuable and things of that nature. Because if we are in a situation where we're working a burglary, residential burglary, it helps us identify and recover property. So maintaining the serial numbers and identifiers on your property are all good things to do. Also, again, inside the home, having the home safe is a good deterrent to prevent not necessarily the entry into the home, but prevent someone from taking valuable items. There again, that gets into a cost issue. Obviously, the more money that you spend on those items, the more secure they are. I mentioned the home security system already. K9s particularly are good deterrents for burglars. So people that are dog lovers, if they have a dog either fenced, secured around the home or inside the home, that's a good deterrent also for burglars and thieves too. They notice that when they're looking at houses. Do they have dogs? Do they not? You get into being away from home with the holidays coming up, people are traveling. Know who your neighbors are. Watch after their house. Have your neighbors, watching after your house. If you're gone for an extended period of time, have the mail stopped to your home. Have the newspaper delivery stopped. If you're still taking the paper, taking the mail at your home, have those things stopped. Or better yet, have somebody picking it up for you and checking at least outside of your home during the time you're away. Anything they see suspicious, of course, they notify their local law enforcement agency. Will come out and check it out.
Sounds good. And what about personal safety, just being out and about?
Well, it gets back to first those kind of common sense key words, and it's being alert and aware of your surroundings. If you're traveling by yourself in a vehicle, you should always maintain good maintenance on your vehicle. You don't want to become broke down riding. The other thing would be having your doors locked when you're traveling. This applies to daytime and nighttime. So many crimes now are occurring in daylight hours just as easily as nighttime hours, and so people need to be cognizant of that. They need to keep the doors secured. If a person has the ability to have a cell phone while they're traveling, that's a good safety feature. If they encounter some problems, they can dial 911 and we can get assistance to them. If they're on a trip, the same thing applies. Have your vehicle checked out. Let someone know where you're going, when you expect to be there. Maintain a cellular phone in your vehicle if you're able to, so you have some communication if you have a problem and need some assistance. Out walking, same thing applies. Being alert and aware. If you're by yourself, try not to walk in unlit areas. In rural areas, Try to be somewhere where other people may be. Walk with a friend, a buddy. You know, a lot of people talk about the buddy system, and that's a great thing for people to do when they're out for an evening walk, you know, is to have someone with them. There again, you know, carry a cell phone with you. They're small, lightweight. If you encounter problems, you've got a way to communicate. I would also say, you know, that there are many self-defense, personal protection items available, up to and including people that are legally able to carry firearms and have the proper carry permits. But, you know, there's items like pepper spray, pepper foam. And it's just for everyone to keep in mind, whether you're living in your home in the evenings or you're out traveling, if you see something that's really suspicious, notify your local law enforcement agency. If you're at home and it's an odd hour and you see persons walking through the neighborhood that don't live there, and it's 2 in the morning, there's nothing wrong with notifying your local law enforcement agency to come out and check these people out. So many times we'll have a crime or crimes occur in the neighborhood, and we find out later during the canvass that someone saw the individuals walking, but they didn't want to get involved or didn't want to call in on something that may be legitimate, that may be okay. Well, in actuality, it was possibly the suspect's canvassing case in the neighborhood prior to committing crimes. So don't be afraid to call your local law enforcement agency if you see something suspicious in the neighborhood.